Hello guys, in this video we are going to be looking at economic and management sciences, which is EMS, right? So we are going to be looking at EMS. We are going to be looking at EMS, and this is what we need to understand for as we prepare for our upcoming term 2 examination or the June exam, right? So guys, remember that in term 2 we cover both term 1 content and term 2 content. So now we are going to look at what we covered in term 2. So in term 2 you can see that we started off with financial literacy, right? Wherein we looked at the overview of the accounting cycle. And then once we are done, we then moved to accounting equation. And then once we are done, we then move to cash receipt journals. And then once we are done, we continued again with cash receipt journal. Okay. And then once we are done with that, we also continued. So we mostly spend most of our times on cash receipt journals, right? And then we also looked at the different factors of production. So I'm assuming that by now we all know our factors of production. So now, if we go back to the overview of the accounting cycle, we can see that we have transactions, we have source documents, we have subsidiary journals, we have general ledgers, and then we can see that we also have the trial balance, the income statement, and the balance sheet. So we need to understand the difference between the four, right? We need to understand the difference between the four. Okay, and then we then moved to accounting equation, and then here we can see that we looked at the cash transactions that we received on the accounting equation. So here we can see that we have asset equals to owner's equity plus liability. So guys, our assets are equals to our owner's equity plus liabilities. So we need to always remember this principle at all times. We need to always remember this principle at all times, right? And then next, we can see that we then moved to cash receipt journals. And then here we can see that we covered concepts of a cash receipt journal, which is CRJ of a service business, formats and uses of the columns in the CRJ, right? And then next, we looked at enriching cash transactions in the CRJ, closing of the cash receipt journal. So guys, CRJ stands for cash receipt journal, right? And then next, we then move to recording the cash transactions in the cash receipt journals, right? And then after recording the transaction, we then closed off our cash receipt journal. Okay, and then next we looked at the effect of cash transactions on the accounting equation. We look at the effect of the cash transactions on the accounting equation. Okay, and then lastly, we then move to entrepreneurship, wherein we looked at the factors of production. Okay, wherein we looked at the factors of production. So here we can see that we have capital as our factor of production, we have labor, and then we also have natural resources. So we are told that capital is borrowed and owned capital, right? And then labor, we are basically looking at unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled labor, as well as the role of workers in the business. And then there's also spoke about fair employment practices, okay? And then natural resources, we can see that here we are looking at the remuneration of factors of production. Okay, so guys, we know that natural resources, we look at things such as land, right? We look at things such as land. So our land is our natural resource. Our land is our natural resource. Don't forget, guys, that we do have online extra classes. And if you wish to join our online extra classes, you can just send us a message on the number that you are seeing on the screen.